Hi guys, welcome back and welcome if you are new here. My name is Lace and my channel is Feral Beauty. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel and like this video. Now listen, if you ask me, I think you should just subscribe and watch the video and go off of that. Okay? Like it's not a commitment, right? Like you could always unsubscribe. I don't think you should. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but do that. Subscribe, see if you like what I'm doing here, and if you don't, that's fine. But if you do, I would love to have you here and watch future videos with me of my work, my art, my techniques, suggestions, all the things. And I always love to hear from you guys when there's specific content you want to see. You could always put that in the comments because honestly, it's just fun for me. All right, so I ended up getting the Byredo Bibliophilia palette. And I know I'm kind of late to the party on this, but that's completely fine. I like to wait when new products come out, and I like to kind of take my time and make sure I'm gonna like it, you know? Like I like to watch other people's reviews and how it looks on them, things like that. And then if I like it, I go from there and I'll buy it for myself. So I don't even know if this is still hyped up, if this is still even like trendy or anything. I kind of don't care, but I was just excited for me to get it. And I think what's really cool about this palette is how there's like this cool side right here and this warm side right here. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna do one cool toned look and one warm toned look, which is gonna be kind of fun. I don't think I've done that yet. I usually just stick to one look for each video. But I'm gonna split this one up into two looks, and I'll make sure that I put timestamps in there for you guys. So if you wanna kind of like skip ahead to a specific look, to either the cool tone or the warm tone, feel free to do that. So I think that synthetic brushes are probably gonna be better than natural bristle brushes with this particular formula. It's what I do normally with like my Prada shadows. Any type of a shadow that is more of that creamy texture, I will use my synthetic brushes for that. So if you're not new here, then you know I typically do like a lot of cool toned look. I feel like we should start off with the warm tone look first. So I'm gonna go in with this lightest tone right here, and I'm gonna apply that right under the brow. Oh, that's nice. There is like a slight kind of shimmer to it. I love these types of formulas where it is a little bit creamy. Typically there's less fallout in formulas that are like that, which I will happily take. And just so you know, I did not put on a primer, an eyeshadow primer today. I feel like the pigment in these is pretty good. Like I don't think you need a primer. Unless your eyelids tend to just be more on the oily side, then absolutely put on a primer. But if you don't run more oily, you don't have to use a primer with this. And what actually drew me to this palette in the first place were actually the warmer tones, specifically these like red burgundy wine shades. So I'm excited to play around with those. Now I'm gonna use this shade in the crease, and I actually like to bring it above my crease. And since I want really specific placement, I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of like finger painting with some of these shades. So I'm gonna go in with this really beautiful like bronzy shimmery shade right here first. Actually, I'm gonna go in first with this one on the cool side, but honestly, I think it's gonna look so beautiful with the warm tones. And I'm gonna apply this to my inner corner. I'm gonna try to use as many colors as I can for you guys so you could get a good idea of what the palette looks like. Okay, now for real, I'm gonna go into that bronze shade, coppery bronze. Same thing, I'm gonna use my fingertip again, and I'm gonna place it right next to that, like right into the middle of my lid. And I'm gonna go in and kind of blend these together afterwards. So I'm gonna take a brush that has nothing on it, no product, and I'm gonna blend those two, just like those edges. All right, now I'm gonna add this red tone right in here. It's so beautiful. I don't have anything else like it really, you know? And I'm gonna apply this to kind of like the outer third. And if I were using less colors, I would just use brushes, but because I want such specific placement, that's why I'm using my fingertips. And again, I'm gonna take that brush with no product on it and I'm just gonna blend those edges. Okay, so now I'm gonna use this deepest like burgundy on the warm side. And I'm gonna use a brush. And I'm gonna bring that in for some detail right on that outer corner, kind of just like layering it next to where I put that more red shade and just kind of blending it up. And then a little bit, I'm gonna take that brush and just kind of like flatten it out and drag some down by my lash line on the bottom, but I'm doing just that outer portion of it. Oh, this is looking so pretty already. I'm just gonna blend around those edges. Honestly, half of the process of doing eyeshadow is blending. Okay, now I wanna mix this shade right here with this shade right here. So I'm basically just gonna go in and do that and just kind of bounce back and forth. And I mean, that's the beauty of just customizing in your palette and creating the colors that you want, you know? It might not be in there, and so you just have to make it yourself. So I'm going to place this above the crease. I want to add a little bit more of that red shade right there and just place it right on top here. I'm going to use Victoria Beckham's Eye Kajal pencil in copper. So right in here, I think this color is going to go so well with the warm shades. Yeah, that is so pretty together. Now I'm gonna go in with Costa Riche from MAC, their eye pencil, and I'm gonna put that in my upper and bottom waterline. So right up here and right down here. I couldn't decide between this, the Costa Riche from MAC, or the terracotta from Victoria Beckham. Honestly, I think they would both look really beautiful. You can't go wrong if you have either one. So I'm gonna use my V Modern Mascara. I feel like I'm almost done with this, which I'm fine with because I actually really want to order the new Iconic one anyway. But I am specifically using this one for these looks because even though it gives high impact, it's very easy to wash off. So since I'm gonna have to wash this whole look off and then do the other one, I felt like this would be the easiest. All right, let's move on to the face makeup. Let's do foundation. I'm gonna use my Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion in Alabaster. I'm actually gonna try this out today with a brush. Normally I use a sponge, and not the sponge that it comes with, but I just use like a beauty blender type of a sponge. But I'm gonna try it out with a foundation brush. Let's see how that goes on. Yeah, it goes on great with the brush. I brought out concealer and everything, but I think that I'm not gonna get too into the weeds right now since I really just wanted to show you guys the eyeshadow looks. So as far as face makeup goes, like I'll show you what I use, but I don't think I need to like put concealer and everything. All right, and I just got this like maybe 2 weeks ago. This is the Morphe Cloud Light Soft Glow Veil. I think it's supposed to be like their dupe, their version of the Hourglass powder. It's definitely not a dupe. I have the Hourglass one and I love it, the diffused light. However, I think that as a standalone product, it's still really beautiful. It's just not exactly like the Hourglass one. They're both separately beautiful, you know? So I'm gonna go in with a big fluffy brush and just fluff it right on top. A lot of this is gonna, like the face makeup, a lot of it will be the same for the second look, except for the blush and the highlight. I think that'll be like all that's different really for the face look. So when I do that, I'll just kind of like zip through these steps so it's not too repetitive, and I'll just show you what you haven't seen. But that's like so pretty. It's such a beautiful finish. It's so inexpensive. I mean, don't quote me, but I think it was like $18. 18 bucks, can't beat that. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could, but for what it looks like, I don't think you can. I'm gonna use the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick in shade 01 Light. I actually just really like to mix these two together sometimes, so I'm just gonna do that right now. And just apply that here, over here, a little on the sides of my nose, a little on my chin. And I have like other beauty things that I have to do today after I film this. I have to do my nails. I mean, they don't look terrible, but you know, it's time. I gotta do them. Also, I bought this hair cutting class, an online hair cutting tutorial from Byredo Salon, and she specializes in like my type of a haircut. So like, you know, shags, things like that. And so, I mean, my bangs are pretty short right now. I do have baby bangs that I cut into, but I want to do like these top layers and kind of like debulk this, you know, and just kind of do that in between like hair appointments. And I'm really excited to see what that is going to be like. We'll see if I get around to that today. I feel like that feels a little ambitious to do this and my nails and cut my hair. It seems like a lot. But ambitious makes sense. I joke, because I love Harry Potter, so I joke that I'm a Slitherpuff. I'm a millennial, so come on, this is like shocking nobody probably. And I just feel like I'm a little bit of both. A little bit of Slytherin, a little bit of Hufflepuff. So I'm a Slitherpuff. I gotta do my roots too. I dye my hair so dark, but my natural color is like a dirty, like an ashy blonde, you know? And so when my roots start growing in and you see it in comparison to the rest of my hair, it almost looks like I'm balding. Like it looks wild. So it's time for that too, although I'm not that ambitious. I'm not gonna be able to do all of that today. Okay. For blush, I'm gonna go into my Vive blush in shade Pesca. Such a beautiful warm tone. It is very pigmented though, so I'm going to use like a very, very fluffy blush brush that I know is not going to deposit a ton of pigment. And I'm just gonna put some of that on the brush, tap off the excess, and just apply some over here, more like on the outer perimeter over here. Yeah, it's such a pretty shade, such a great formula too. I want to try one of her face palettes. I think she has maybe two, is like a lighter one and a darker one, and I think that there's like 3 blushes and 1 highlighter, and that's like the only way you could get a powder highlighter from her. It's like a limited, I'm not sure if it's limited or not, actually. I should double check, but either way I want it, because yeah, her products are really amazing. If you haven't tried Vive, I encourage you to try them out, which is so easy if you're in the UK. Not as easy for us here in the States, unfortunately, but I am hoping that she'll be brought into Sephora soon. I kind of feel like she will be, but I could be wrong. I'm just gonna blend around those edges so I don't have any like harsh blush lines. For a warm toned highlight, I'm gonna use my Gucci highlight in Warm Gold 03. I don't know if that got picked up. Can you see that? Really beautiful though. I feel like the camera doesn't do it any justice really. And just apply some of that right up here. I don't like to bring my highlighter too far down. I feel like, I don't know, that kind of defeats the purpose. At that point, it's almost like your highlighter is like a blush, if that makes sense. It's fine if that's what you want, but that's just like not what I want. And so right up here, a little bit on my nose tip. I don't know why. I know I'm just gonna wash this off in like 5 minutes anyway, but I can't help myself. I'm not to be trusted when it comes to makeup. Oh, and I forgot to say earlier that I just checked, because I ordered this directly from the Byredo website, and it is still available. It is limited edition. I've never gotten one of the Byredo palettes before, so I was really excited to try it out this year, and I loved the colors. And I really loved that it was kind of split into almost like 2 different palettes. I thought that was so clever. I kind of wish more brands would do that, but Yeah, beautiful formula. All right, so for lip, I don't know how this is gonna look. I've never worn this combo. I've actually never worn this lipstick before, like only ever tried it on. I think I was like not that crazy about it because of how warm toned it is, but I do think it's gonna look good with this. I think it's gonna like mesh well. So I'm gonna start off with the Sephora brand lip liner, and this is in shade Perfect Beige. And then this is the Sweet Lay lipstick, and this is in shade Wild Rose from the Lydia Millen collection of hers. I think it was like a collab. So I'll just go in and line this. I love this lip liner formula. It's really great. Like it stays on for a long time, but without feeling like drying or anything like that. So this is that Wild Rose from Swede. Hopefully it doesn't look bad. This is another beautiful formula too. It's almost like a glossy lipstick. Oh, that actually works out really well. I might start wearing this combo. I should really start wearing warm tones more. I definitely just kind of get really used to really cool tones for everything. You guys let me know in the comments if you want me to do more like, I don't know, get ready with me's or tutorials where I'm using like more brighter, colorful colors for eyeshadows, blues, greens, things like that. And or if it's the complete opposite and you're like, no, I love your content, but I actually want to see like more natural looks, like more neutrals, beiges, browns, things like that. Let me know. Like I have a lot of both, so you just let me know what you are wanting to see, like what's going to be most helpful for you to see and learn. I also picked up this perfume a couple of weeks ago from Ulta. It's from the brand Orabella and it's called Salted Muse. It's so beautiful, you guys. It's gorgeous. You do have to shake it up. It is like a biphase formula, so there's oil in it, so you've got to shake it up really well before you spray it on. But I just felt like with this warm toned look that this would be like a really great scent to pair it with. I don't know, I love fragrance, and so whenever I do my makeup, which I also kind of go off of like how I'm feeling that day, what vibe I'm in, and right after that then I kind of think about what perfume I would want to pair that with. So I don't know, it's just like all about how you're feeling, what your vibes are like that day. Okay, we'll do a close-up here for you guys. So that is the eye makeup. What do you guys think? I really like it. Honestly, I feel like I could have even gone a little more red, but I didn't want to like freak you guys out. I wanted to use these shades, but like in a wearable way for you. Like I wanted you guys to have that confidence that you could recreate this and do this on yourself. But yeah, lip actually looks better than expected. I like it. All right, so take this in because I'm gonna go wash it all off and get started on the cool tone look. And then at the end, I want you to like kind of compare the two in your mind and let me know in the comments which one you prefer, because that would be so interesting to me. I would love to know. All right, I am back. I have washed everything off and it was so sad to wash off because it was so pretty. I had a snack. I had some chai, which I love. I love iced chai. It's so good. It's so friggin' good. All right, so hopefully my skin's not too dry now that I just washed it. I think I'll put some of the Vive Super Skin Nova on. This one right here. She has like two different kinds of Skin Nova primer. This one's like the super creamy one. And this is probably gonna make my face really red. Yeah, it made it red. That's fine, totally fine. And if you hear some loud TV in the background, it's because my husband is watching Midnight Mass on Netflix. I think I already heard some like craziness. All right, I am gonna start off with this lightest shade right here on the cool side. And I think that since I did such a classic type of a eyeshadow placement earlier with the warm shades, I kind of went from like, you know, light, medium, dark, smoked it out a little bit. I think this time I'm gonna like switch it up a little, and I think for the cool tones, what I would probably like to do is more of like halo eye, so a little darker on the inner and outer corners, and have it kind of have this like really pretty lighter shade in the middle. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Just kind of mix it up a little bit so it's not like boring, you know? So this one is definitely more shimmery than the other light shade. So this light shade on the cool side is more shimmery than this light shade on the warmer side. I hope that makes sense. I think I actually want to layer, because that is pretty light and like shimmery frosted. I think I actually want to layer some of this shade right on top. This one right here. This is really beautiful, kind of like khaki toned shade. So I'm not gonna go all the way up to under my eyebrow, but pretty close. That was just pretty shimmery. I think that's probably best, in my opinion, for my own personal use, is like an inner corner shade. I don't think I'd really want that right under my eyebrow. Okay, so now I want to go in with this shade right here, and I want to put that all in my crease. I reached for that one because I feel like that one is extra cool toned. Some of these are a little more like neutral leaning. I'm sure they did that so that like you could have more options, so it's not just kind of one or the other. It's not just cool versus warm, so that way you have more options of mixing colors from this side with this side and vice versa, you know? And I wish I had time to do a third look for you guys where I do kind of mix, you know, a look together from both sides, just to show you that you can, but I don't have time. I told you guys all about my ambitious plans earlier. Oh my God, I hear some like music and singing from the show he's watching. All right, so I'm gonna go into this shade right here for the inner and outer corners, and I'm gonna lay that down first. And then later I'm gonna go in detail with this really deep shade right here, kind of like on top of that. For that, I did not have a synthetic brush that was small enough, so I'm gonna go in with this natural bristle one that I have from the Yano series from Beautylish. This is such a beautiful detail brush. So I'm gonna go in with that right here on this inner corner. Now I'm gonna go on that outer corner, place it right there. So right in here. And I'm gonna build up on this so it doesn't have to all be perfect right now. I just don't want you guys to like put too much pressure on yourselves if you're gonna recreate this. This is such a beautiful detailing brush. I do love this. And I'm gonna bring some of that shade underneath here. Now this is just to kind of give myself an idea of the placement, and like I said, I'm gonna go in with that really deep shade. It's, I think, the darkest shade in the entire palette, so this one right here, and I'm gonna like build it up. I'm gonna layer that on top. That first shade was pretty, but it didn't add as much like contrast or dimension as I was hoping for. But if you are going for a more natural, and I say that loosely because it still is a dark brown, if you are going for a more natural look, you could absolutely use that shade. Yeah, I'm definitely getting some fallout, but I'll clean that up. I'll go back in with that Vive and kind of clean it up before I put any of the foundation on. All right, so now I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It's a really pretty like shimmery shade. Actually, I think what I want to do is mix these two together, these two right here. So I'm gonna use my fingertip. I'm going into that lighter shade first, and then I'm just gonna go right back over and just kind of like tap between the two. And I'm gonna place that right in the middle, right here. And now I'm gonna go in and use just this one right here. Same spot, same placement. Yeah, these colors are really beautiful. They're like playing really well together. I wanna go back in and put this shade, not all over the crease, kind of like right above where I put those darker shades, on like above that inner and outer corners. Oh, it's coming out really pretty. I'm gonna layer on a little bit more of that darkest color just on that outer and inner corner. Yeah, that is looking so good. I really like it. I'm gonna clean that up with a little bit of that Vive primer that I put on earlier. I'm just gonna use my fingertips right underneath and it will just wipe away that fallout. All right, now I'm gonna go in and use that Victoria Beckham liner in Cocoa. Same thing, upper and bottom waterline. So right up here and then right in here. Now I'm gonna take this pencil and I'm going to add just a little bit more on the lash line and use the smudger and just kind of smudge that out. And I am focusing it just a little bit more on that outer and inner corners. So right here and right here. All right, same mascara as earlier, the Vive. Honestly, I really don't even think these colors are like incredibly cool toned. I think it's really just being next to those really warm tones that it's like in comparison, they look pretty cool. Honestly, a lot of them are, you know, cool leaning neutrals and some of them are just full on neutral. I love a halo eye. They're just so pretty and just like a little different from what people typically do. So I like to kind of come on here and remind you guys that you have some options when it comes to eyeshadow placement. All right, Shoan Takai again for my foundation. I'm just gonna do the same exact thing as before with this. So I have like an educational work event to go to and I'm like so nervous. I know you guys probably think that I'm, you know, extroverted, outspoken, things like that. And like I can be when I'm with people that like I already know, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure around my husband I'm like that. And around my best friends, but like when I'm around people that I don't know, I'm so shy, so socially awkward. Like I just don't know what to say. And then, oh my God, eye contact is like the worst. It's so bad. Like, I mean, I've taught myself over time, like how to make eye contact, but it still gets really awkward sometimes. And what I mean is that like in my mind, as I'm talking to somebody, I have to like actually be thinking in real time, like, okay, Lace, make sure you are looking them in the eye and smiling and nodding. But then I'll be like, okay, that's too much eye contact, look away, you know? Like basically whenever I know I'm gonna be in like social setting like this, especially with people I don't know, you know, like the Beetlejuice scene where he's like, it's showtime. It's showtime. It's kind of like that. Like I really have to talk myself into it, like hype myself up mentally to prepare, to get ready for it. And I just have to be like on. I have to, you know, just kind of like remind myself, like be you, but more. You times 10. Like with eye contact, it gets so awkward because sometimes I'll make too much eye contact and then it's like, I'm just staring into your soul. And then, you know, that's not nice for anybody. I don't want to do that to anybody and no one wants to have that done to them, you know? So it's this fine balance of, am I making enough eye contact to be considered polite, or am I giving too much eye contact and now I've made it weird for everyone involved? I never know, but it's gonna be fun. Other than that part of it, I'm excited to like learn and see new things. So if you are new here, I have basically been in the beauty industry since I was in high school, since I was a teenager. So I've been in the beauty industry for like 20 years and maybe even a little bit longer than that actually. Anyway though, I feel like I've done it all. I started off doing makeup, right? But like I also went to cosmetology school so I could do hair. I hated doing hair, so I just stuck with makeup. So I've been a makeup artist forever. But I also have my esthetician license, so I know a lot about skincare. I do skincare, I do lash extension. I have my own small business. Oh my god, my hair is looking crazy. So I have my own like beauty studio, and I just feel like so lucky to be able to do that. But I love what I do. I just figured I would give you guys some background if you're new here and you're like, huh, what is this educational work event that she's talking about? And so this one, I mean, there's gonna be like skincare things there as far as education goes, but there's also gonna be some new stuff for lash extensions, which is so cool and exciting. Honestly, no matter what I'm doing, I always try to just like stay really current and updated with information and education. I just want to be knowledgeable. I want my clients to feel like I'm knowledgeable. I want them to feel confident, like knowing that I know what I'm talking about, you know? Oh, I think I'm like out of this. The brush is barely picking anything up. Well, it had a long run. Actually, wait, what am I talking about? I think I have a refill somewhere for it. I'm like ready to have a funeral for it. I'm like, well, it had a long run. Same Morphe powder as earlier. And I don't know if I said the shade name, but I got it in Sunrise, which I thought was going to be way, way, way too dark for me. Because I'm usually like the lightest shade. I did pick that up as well. But it's really not very pigmented, so if you are as light as I am, you can get away with this. But I picked it because it has more like yellow undertones than the lightest shade, which has more pink undertones. And it's worked out well. I like it. I don't think it's too dark. I'm gonna go back in with the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick, shade 01. I'm gonna keep it simple and just stick to like the same placement. I am really loving this bronzing brick from Victoria Beckham so much. If you missed out on my Victoria Beckham video that I just did last week, I think, I'm so happy I picked it up. I was on the fence about it for a while and I really, really like it. It's gorgeous. And for blush, I'm gonna use Crystal Slipper from RMS. It's such a beautiful shade. I love this one. And just kind of dust that on, again, just like on the perimeter. And for a highlighter, I'm gonna go in and use La Luna from Hindash. It's such a gorgeous one. Honestly, like all three of them are beautiful. He has 3 different shades and they're just like these gorgeous gradients. Love them. And just kind of pop that on right up here. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I love it. And then for lips, I'm going in with Revi Beauty lip liner. And oh man, I thought that I picked up Fig, the shade Fig. This is Honey. It's fine, we'll make it work. I have it, it's just like in a completely different room. So we're gonna use Honey. We'll go in with that first. It's a beautiful shade. These liners are really pretty too. And then for the lipstick, I'm gonna go in with Baby from Merit. This is such a really beautiful cool tone shade. I love this color. It's a really nice formula too. It's not like drying or anything, you know? Yeah. It's so pretty, love that. All right guys, so this is my cool tone look. I mean, again, I don't think it's like incredibly cool toned. I will do a close-up and get closer to the eyes so that you guys could see how that looks. So there are the eyeshadow colors. I mean, they're really pretty together, and I hope you could see the contrast between like middle shade and the inner and outer corners, but I love a good halo eye. Yeah, I really like it. I think both of the looks were gorgeous, and you know, I'm not gonna recommend this because I never wanted to influence you guys to buy something. It's not like this is cheap, you know, But I hope that this video will help you make an informed decision if it was something that you were considering buying. Hopefully, this allows you to see if it is actually something you want or if it is something you should pass on. So hopefully this was helpful in some way. Also, I love this packaging. You can't really see it. I mean, maybe if I do that, but it really has this awesome like 3D kind of effect, like a scrunched up piece of paper from a book, like a page. I really love what they did with that. It looks awesome. All right, guys, so let me know in the comments if you felt like this was helpful, if there are other things that you want to see, if there's specific content you want to see from me, if you want to see, you know, different lip looks, different eye looks, natural looks, dramatic looks, etc. You know what I mean? Whatever it is you are hoping to be better at, hoping to learn, let me know, because I want to help you. I want to show you how to do what it is that you want to do, but feel like you might be struggling with. All right, now I have all that other stuff to do. I gotta do these nails and hopefully cut into these top layers up here. Fingers crossed I don't end up looking like the Cynthia doll from Rugrats. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me and take it easy. Bye.